don't complain that your plate's full when all you wanted to do was eat.
That's called motherfucking boy.
This motherfucker don't miss.
Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name is Malcolm. Now at the Crockett Cup, there's gonna be a huge match. Natalya from the WWE, Natty Neidhart, she's coming over to the NWA. The challenge for the Burke, challenge the NWA Women's World Champion KENZIE Paige is gonna be in Philadelphia, 2300 Arena. I think KENZIE's gonna win. I'm gonna put it out there. That's my hot take personally.
Okay.
She's gonna squash her personally. That's what I just gonna think. That's just me. But let's talk to KENZIE about it. KENZIE, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I mean, like, talking to the world champion means that, like, my life in my day has only gotten better. But, like, how is it like being the world champion of the NWA? Because you are up top.
It's a lot of pressure, but like you said, I mean, if talking to people makes their day, I mean, maybe I'm doing something right, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, last time I saw you was actually at Bloodsport, and you attacked Natty right after her match. Now, I feel like you didn't have to be there. Like, why did you try to go ahead and step on her moment like that? That was kind of crazy.
You know, I'm going to rebuttal with that, I stepped on her moment because she tried to step on my moment.
Oh.
Natty coming to the NWA, I told everyone till I was blue in the face. It is a positive light for the National Wrestling Alliance to have someone of her caliber and of her star power be at the NWA, especially in 2025.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to talk about the NWA. She wanted to talk about me, and she wanted to talk about Bloodsport, and she wanted to talk about this and that. She didn't want to talk about the NWA. But after I attacked her, what has she talked about now?
The NWA.
Exactly.
Okay. Smart. Was there any words exchanged in that moment? Because I saw you guys fighting, but I just couldn't figure out what you guys were saying. I was a little far in the back. I couldn't see you guys actually, say the words that you were saying to each other. What did you say to her?
Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, say whatever you want.
I called her a disrespectful bitch, which, and in terms, some people might think that about me, but that's another reason why I'm upset, right? Because I've carried the NWA for so long, right? I'm only 23. I started there when I was 19, right? So I've carried it for so long, and I went out on a limb for me and for the National Wrestling Alliance, and people are looking at me like they're disappointed in me, when all I was trying to do is get her to talk about where she's going. Get that light on the NWA, as I say, right? So when I was in front of her face and I realized, like, I took so much time out of my day. I flew myself in to base to attack her. So I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? You are a disrespectful and that's what I said to her. And then I double birded her. And then from then on, it was just pushing and shoving. And then they kicked me out.
What?
They had the audacity to literally, they picked me up and took me out. I was like, what?
You should sue. You should sue somebody. You should sue someone. That's crazy.
That's what I was thinking. I've got everything on camera. I was like, you know what? I might go plotting. I might plot again.
Judge Judy will probably help you out, honestly. We'll make it happen. We'll see what we got.
You know what? Let's call her.
We will. We'll get her on the FaceTime call a little bit later today.
Okay.
Now, you've had about 8 years into this business so far, correct?
Yes, this is going on my 9th year.
Oh, man. Well, you've done a lot at 23. That's amazing. Now, to be 23 and the NWA Women's World Champion, does that come with any pressure? Because you're very young and you've done so much in this business. Like, also to add, like, I know you own your own wrestling promotion. You're head trainer at Ricky Morton's school. You have a lot going on at 23.
I do. That's one of the things, like I said, like, the pressure is on. But, I mean, I don't know if you feel like this, but I work so much better under pressure. Yeah. Like, when all eyes are on me or, when my plate's full, That's another thing I always talk about, like, don't complain that your plate's full when all you wanted to do was eat, right? So I can't complain about all this stuff. I feel like it's, the universe looking out for me. I'm taking on all this stuff so young, so I know mentally, like, I'm ready, right? So when things get bigger and things get better, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be ready. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, I mean, like, you've done so much so far in the NWA. I want to talk about that championship, and I want to show you a picture as long as to go with my question. So I feel like the NWA Women's World Championship, it has like the picture of you right in the middle, right? Now, there was a shoe back in the day, back in the 90s, that I used to have when I'm not old. I just bought these at Marshall's not too long ago. They're called Adidas Superstars, and you can actually pull out the stripes and change them out. I don't know if you ever heard of that. I'm going to show you a picture of it. And so the people at home can also look at the photo that's going to be on the screen. Do you do that with the NWA Championship? Do you just take pictures out and put new pictures in of yourself?
Yep. So on the back, there's 3 little bolts. You undo those bolts, and then that front piece comes off, and you slide the pictures in and out. And that's how,
So
I was shocked at first, too.
I never thought about that. So
Yep.
You ever like wake up, you're like, all right, I'm feeling like my belt should look happy, so it's a picture you smiling, or like, I'm feeling mad, so it's a picture you upset.
I wish I had a camera following me for the first picture they put in. I looked like George Lopez when he was on that one movie, the shark. You know which one I'm talking
Yeah,
about? Where
Shark Boy and Lava Girl, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
Mr. Electricidad, that was his name.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It was just this part of my head, and I was like, "What is that?" And they were like, "Your picture." I was like, "Not to be a diva, but no way, no way." I literally pulled up the picture of George Lopez. I was like, "This is what I look like right now." They're like,
That's
"Okay,
hilarious.
okay."
That's
It was terrible.
cool.
I was like, "No, we got to get a new one in."
Yeah. That amazing, amazing. So I feel like once you defend the title against Natty, do you have the photo of like you standing over top of her now inside the NWA Championship?
That's what it's gonna have to be, right? I mean,
Okay.
that's what's more historical than that.
Right, right. This is gonna be amazing, honestly, because like seeing her come in from the WWE into the NWA, I mean, it's magical, honestly. When you found out she was gonna come to the NWA, did you know for a fact, like, all right, well, she has to wrestle me. I'm the world champion.
You know, with the position at NWA, I was questioning. I'm just gonna say I was questioning who was gonna get it.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't wait to see someone else get picked. I didn't wait to see a favorite get picked. I'm not the favorite. I'm just the world champion, and they can't change that.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of sitting back and waiting for everyone to pick favorites and put their name in the hat, I went and took it. That's why I showed up at Bloodsport, right? Because who else did? Did you see anyone else from the NWA roster there?
Oh,
No. So that was my mindset of like, if she's coming, I know I'm not going to be someone's first pick, right? I'm the world champion, and that's something they can't change because no one can beat me yet, right?
Oh.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this for myself. I'm going to show up and pull up on her to where she has to know my name. She has to want that rebuttal back.
Okay, you're spitting right now. Now, let's talk about a little bit more. So, what's like your goals now within NWA? Because you've won every championship there is to win now, right? So, like, what's next for you?
I think I'm to the point now where it's like I've built up my resume enough. Now I want to start building up the NWA, right? I want to add back that feeling, right? When you hear about the National Wrestling Alliance, I want people to get that feeling again, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and now it's kind of gotten to the point where if you think of the NWA, you are going to think of the Paige sisters. You are going to think of KENZIE Paige, Kylie, Tom Latimer, EC3, people like that. But now I want that feeling to go with it. Like when you hear those names, you're like, ooh, I got to see what they're doing. Or, ooh, what are they up to? Ooh, who are they? Right? So now I'm to the point of like, I'm going to keep building myself. Obviously, I'm only 23. I have a lot left to go and learn. But in the stage that I'm in right now, I'm really focused on building back up the National Wrestling Alliance. That's really where I'm at. And for whatever that means, whether it be, my territory doing the best or putting on the best matches at the show, which I do. But whether it be those things, that's what I want to aim for. I want to really aim to put the National Wrestling Alliance back in conversation.
Definitely. Now, if there's like a wrestling fan that hasn't watched NWA recently, but they want to get back into it, they see Natalya's gonna be on the card, they're like, oh, well, let me see what the NWA is about. Why should they continue to watch NWA even after Natalya is no longer on the card?
I think once they watch it and once they see what we have to offer, whether it be, the characters or the wrestling or the hard hitting, like my little sister Kylie and Natalia Markova are wrestling this weekend. I'm going to tell you what, besides me and Natty, that's going to be the match that's the most hard hitting and could possibly steal the show. I'm going to be honest with you. That's the women themselves are enough reason for you to watch NWA. But if you want to tap into the men, you have Tom Latimer, you have those people like that. We have the characters. We have, Hunter Drake and Tyler, people from my territory that really, they love and breathe professional wrestling, right? So that love and that passion, you'll feel it through the screen because it's real, So I feel like that's something that we have to offer, which every company does, obviously. But when you look at NWA, there is younger talent. We still have vets. We have great women, right? We have, it's for everyone and for everything. No matter what you like, you're going to find something that resonates with you. Definitely. So I feel like that's kind of like our selling point of like, we have a little bit of everything.
No, absolutely. I'm going to be at the show this weekend, 2300 Arena, Philadelphia. You can get tickets NWATix.com. You can watch Power every week. It's going to be on NWA's X account, Twitter account formerly. And now you run your own wrestling promotion. How hard is that? Because like that seems like a problem in itself, just trying to book people to come in, trying to get the matches done and whatnot, set up, tear down. How hard is it?
It is, and I tell everyone this, it's the most stressful thing in the world. And like when people come into Crossfire, which is my company, they see me and they see someone different. They don't see, you know, the champion. They see the promoter. They see the owner, right? So when you come in and you're passing, you know, the ring trailer and stuff, I brought that. I brought that there. I'm a terrible driver itself, and I'm driving a ring trailer around Sevierville, right? Then when you walk in, I'm having to direct people on how to put the ring up and this and that and setting up chairs, because we have a certain way that we do it. Based off ticket sales and stuff like that, I have to set it up a different way. We have a custom entrance, so I've got to do the entrance. And then in between getting help with the entrance, I got to go and make sure all the music's downloaded. So, and then make sure all the cards in order, and, you know, the refs are there and the announcers there and the microphones work and the music works. There's a lot that goes into not even just owning a company, but running the promotion, running the show. Night of, it doesn't matter if you have, you know, 40 hands on deck. If you're the one that's over it, you're the one that gets pinfalled if something, you know, happens, right? So, you know, it's trial and error for me, right? So I'm making sure, you know, we have all the music. That's been the hardest part for me, right? Is something so easy for other people is the hardest part for me. It's the getting the music and the microphones and all that stuff to make it. Maybe I'm a perfectionist on this, but I hate when people are on the mic and it's so I went through damn near 5 microphones just trying to find one that don't cause that buzz, you know? And then speakers and making sure everyone's music's there. And my sweet mother, she's such an angel. She runs the music for us. So I make sure everything's in order, because she comes from her shoot. She goes straight to the show, right to the computer, gets it going, right? So I got to put everything in order for her. I got to make sure the concessions is set up, because my sweet mama, my grandmother, she runs the concessions. It's really a huge family event. And I feel like that's another cool thing about our show is when you walk in, you feel like you're part of the family, because we are family. Like everyone there, everyone is family. Like even the fans, like I'm not even joking. I can look out in the crowd and I can name off everyone that's sitting in the seats. Like that's how tight knit it is. Wow. It's very rewarding. It's so hard, but God, when the show's over and it hits 10 o'clock and you're like, oh, last match, it's a reward. That within itself is a win.
Absolutely. Man, wow, that sounds hard, but also like fun as well, because you have all your family with you. It's like a family get together. How many times do you run shows a month? Huh? How many times do you run shows a month?
We're doing once a month right now, and we have a really big one coming up. We have one in June, but then our big one is in October. It's Black Harvest. We have Medusa there. We have Juventud. We have a lot of Mr. Kennedy. We have a lot of people coming, and we got a special guest I can't say yet, but someone else will also be there. We're going to be dropping soon. Gotcha. But that one's one that I'm already stressing though, right? So we're in May and I'm like, oh God, that one in October is going to be crazy. But like I said, it's very rewarding. We only do it once a month. So we all come together and kind of all hands on deck.
That's amazing. Like I was saying, that's like a family reunion every month. That's really awesome that you guys do that together, which is really cool. Now, there's a quote from a Hall of Famer that once said, you don't understand what I'm saying, but you will. And that came from Ricky Morton, talking to you about what you can learn in the wrestling business and whatnot. What's a piece of advice he's given you that you didn't understand in the moment, but you eventually did?
You know, I got asked this not too long ago, and this is one of those moments, like back to someone, like, you don't understand what I'm saying, but if you're in the wrestling, you will, right? Or you probably will, because you talk to us all. Sorry, hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, sorry. The percentage thing came up. Oh. But he was telling me basically, like, I was training with him, and he came and talked to the new trainees that we had, which is always a blessing, right? So every time he's talking to the trainees, I'm getting more information, and I'm getting to be around it, right? And he's basically like, there's certain things to get to that next level that you'll need to know, right? And I was like, what does he mean by that? Like, I can wrestle, I can cut a promo, blah. No. He was like, he came over and he like gave me like this jab, right? He gave me like 2 jabs and then he said something and I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you don't understand, but you will. That was his way of saying like 2 jabs, and he was telling me to give him something back, but I was like, what is he talking about? It was just the communication, and in that point, I knew, like, to be the total package, you have to literally be the total package, right? So in my head, I was thinking, oh, I can wrestle, I can cut promos, I look like a wrestler, blah, blah, blah. He didn't mean that. He meant the communication, everything. You have to have everything to get to that next level. And that was one of those moments that he kind of, you know, made me feel like, oh, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. But he just gave me 2 jabs, and then I don't even remember what he said. And he was like, that means get me back. I was like, what is he talking about? But then that was one of he explained to me, like, yeah, back when we was wrestling, you know, that's what they do. They pop them. They'd tell them something, they'd know to go back to it. And I'm like, I mean, I could do it, but I had no idea what he was talking about, right? So that was one of those moments where he kind of like not exposed me for a second, but I was like, like, and it was in front of the trainees too. I was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I was like, about.
Hilarious. Now, I know you're the current world champion in the NWA, but I feel like at being the age of 23, I feel like I have to ask this question. Is there a goal for you at some point to eventually maybe like not leave NWA, but maybe go to one of those TV companies like a TNA, a WWE, an AEW? Is that like a goal for you one day, or are you NWA for life?
NWA will always have a special place in my heart for everything. Billy specifically will always have a special place in my heart. But I feel like I would be doing myself and the NWA a disservice if I didn't take myself further, right? So I do want to go to NXT. I do want to go to WWE. Like, I want to explore those options, but everything that I do from now on is thanks to the NWA. And that's going to follow me for the rest of my life, no matter where I go. Like, even if I have to change my name, this, that. Yeah. When you look me up, I'm always going to be the NWA Women's World Champion, you know, for this certain amount of time, the youngest, the first Triple Crown. Yeah. So I do want to go further, but I want to do it in honor of the positions that NWA has put me in.
Absolutely. And I asked that question because NWA's roster in the last like few years is full of guys and girls that have gone on to be such big stars in different companies and whatnot. So like, even if like one day you weren't a part of NWA, like you're still a part of that like elite class of people that came out of that promotion. And the promotion's done so well at building talent and whatnot. And I want to ask you about Billy Corgan as well. What it's like working with someone like him, because he clearly is very passionate about pro wrestling and he puts his heart and soul into NWA.
And that, like, you can tell, you can see it when you're around him. And I don't want to go too deep into it, but, you know, we were doing some shootings and stuff, and he's got this, like, paper, and it's all got scribbled words on it. And it's just something he wrote out and he figured out. And none of us can read it, but he understands it because he put his heart and soul into it. Like, just, he's another person that makes me, like, sometimes I do play victim card and I feel bad for myself sometimes, like in certain situations. And then I look at him and I'm like, damn, he's juggling so much. Like, he's a rock star. He's got an NWA show. He's got a podcast. He's going on tour. Like, he's doing all these things. He just had a baby. He has a beautiful family to go back home to. I feel like he really does motivate me and he inspires me a lot, really, truly. When you know him for him, and everything that comes with him and everything that he does and everything that he puts into everything, it's hard not to be inspired by him. I think that's the best term for our relationship, is he really does inspire me, and I feel like he respects me for what that's worth. It means a lot to me. So
absolutely. No, like, he seems like a great guy. Every time I see him like on camera and whatnot, I'm like, this seems like kind of dude that like you can tell he really cares about what he does as far as the music and the wrestling and whatnot. You can see the passion just dripping off the guy. Absolutely. Now I have two more questions for you. I'm gonna save one for the last because I feel like that's the most important question. But first off, let's talk about the match with Natalya one more time. So she's a multiple-time women's champion in WWE. She's been on WrestleMania. She's been in the Rumble. She's been in everything. You are a Grand Slam champion in the NWA. You own a promotion. You're a head trainer at 23 years old, by the way. Why do you feel like you could beat Natalya for the NWA Women's World Championship?
I feel like everything that I've done in my life has kind of led me to this moment, to this point, right? So, like I said, all the hardships that I've went through, it's like God and the universe setting me up for something even better, right? So I've manifested a life like this, and it's kind of came to me, right? I've worked so hard, and I feel like this is my big payoff, my big moment, whether it be, you know, I want to beat Natalya, but if I don't, at least I can say I went toe-to-toe with one of the best that, you know, professional wrestling has to offer. And I broke down that barrier of, like, what is the NWA? Well, NWA is the company that WWE is sending one of their best female wrestlers to. So it's something, right? So that goes back to my point of, like, I'm trying to build myself, but I'm also trying to build the company that I'm at. So I feel like everything that I've done in my life and everything I've accomplished has led me to this moment right here. KENZIE Paige versus Natty at the Crockett Cup.
Yes, no, I'm hyped for it. Can't wait to be there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Now, final question for you. I ask every wrestler this whenever I do interviews. NWA Women's World Champion KENZIE Paige, what is your Waffle House order?
Oh my God, I've been ready for this. Okay,
let's go.
So sausage, egg, and cheese hash brown bowl, right? But I like cheese. But where I might lose you, I put ketchup on mine. I love ketchup with my eggs. I can't eat eggs without ketchup. Yeah, I knew I might. At that point.
Yuck.
Then I bring it back. I bring it back because I get me a waffle. But with my waffle, I like to go big on the waffle. I do the butter. I do the syrup all over it, and I demolish that within it. Don't even stay. It don't last 2 minutes in front of me.
Okay.
Once I put thing on it and it's all coated, I'm ready to go.
But how many waffles are we talking? Just one?
Just one, because I gotta watch my figure.
Yeah, you gotta stay in shape. I get it. Waffles, they got a lot of calories in it. I understand. Are you drinking anything with it though?
I'm a Diet Coke girly, so anything diet. Yeah, Diet Coke girly.
Yeah. 0 calories, tastes good. I get it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
If I'm eating that hash brown bowl, I'm like, nothing's better than a Diet Coke right beside it.
Yeah. I respect that answer because you lost me at the ketchup a little bit, but my order is kind of the same deal, just like without the ketchup because ketchup is gross. But like instead of ketchup, right? You need to get the Waffle House sauce, and then you open up all the. Have you had the sauce?
No, I've been told by everyone to try that Waffle House sauce.
You need to. It's like Chick-fil-A sauce, but it's like a sexier version of Chick-fil-A sauce. Think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I should tap into that because everyone at my mother has told me to try that, and I'm like, I can't do it. The ketchup, but that, hell, you just sold me on it.
All right, well, you got to try it next time. You're in Tennessee, right?
Yes.
They're all over.
I know. There's 1.4 miles down the road, literally.
You better go there. You better figure it out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Kenzie Paige, where can they find you on social media? They're not already following you.
Kenzie Paige _1 on all social medias.
Amazing, amazing. Guys, you can watch Kenzie Paige defend that world title against Natty at the Crockett Cup, NWA Crockett Cup, 2300 Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm going to be there. I'm excited for it. You can still have tickets, or tickets are still available at nwatix.com. Guys, my name's Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory, and we're out.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. Hey.